Welcome back, everybody, to Buckeye Bar Guys here on Buckeye Bar Talk. I'm Mike.
And I'm John.
Tonight's date is Friday, September 6th, and 2024. We got to talk about the Western Michigan game tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about the Akron game from last week, and try to get. We're having some issues on the recording, so we're gonna try to get on a little bit out of here this week, pretty quick. So last week, Akron, so Ohio State won, what was it, 56-6?
52-6.
52-6. They looked okay. I mean, first half was a little slow start to everything. I mean, they could have started off with fireworks right off the bat, as they missed the touchdown on the second play of the game. As JJ Smith, dropped a touchdown that was unbelievably blocked, and I mean, he would have took it to the house. So it was a beautiful screen. It seems like forever since they've actually attempted to run a play like that, but but he made it up as the game went on. He was definitely one of the stars of the game, and it was very impressive as he played, very veteranish. Will Howard started off like the team itself a little slow, but he ended up looking really good through the game. The running game was a little slow. The offensive line was a little slow, but everything started clicking as the game went on. Defensively, they looked really, really good, in my opinion. The damn defensive line pretty much dominated the game from start to finish. And, the secondary looked very good. Akron did not get them at all downfield. They had a couple decent early in the game when they did some, early scripted stuff where they got him with some of that two quarterback stuff. It is what it is, but the defense did not look overmatched in any stretch of any imagination. And I mean, it was what it is. They played a good game. I thought the coaching did pretty well. I think Ryan Day, talked about after the game that it was kind of weird not calling the stuff, but he thought Chip did a good job. And honestly, I thought Ryan was very in tune for the whole game, which I liked, because we've kind of been talking about that for a while, that he needs to be the head coach and have somebody there to kind of be able to do the play calling for him.
Absolutely, I agree with all that. They give you everything you said. Offense was fine. It took a little bit to get into a rhythm there. Of course, Jeremiah Smith dropped what probably was a touchdown pass on that wide receiver, that tunnel screen on the second play of the game. Then he had a false start the next play. Outside of that, though, they did pretty good. It took a half for the offense to get humming, but that's going to happen in game one to some teams. Seems like it happens to Ohio State more than other big teams when they're overmatching somebody, but there's nothing to complain about a 52-6 win. Sure, you want to look cleaner. You want the offensive line to be more dominant. They were down 2 guards starting this game, so feel pretty good about what you see at the end result there. I say offensively, Will Howard's your player of the game. Jeremiah Smith, though, definitely right up there with him. And then defensively, I'm going to say, it has to be Lathan Ransom, like the Buckeye said. He was everywhere. But, man, Arvell Reese is a stud. He is a star in the making. That guy was all over the field.
Yeah, I think, and then you kind of look at, Brandon Innes is one. He almost got all of last year's totals in one game for return yards. That guy's definitely.
Parker Fleming needs to be on trial somewhere. Like he needs to be on trial for war crimes.
Yeah, so he's he's definitely going to take one to the house this year. I'm more convinced about it than ever, that because he just looked unbelievable. So I'm really excited about that. Defensively, that DMD defense is like what you said. Arvell Reese is, he's going to be a difference maker. I really like that.
He has to see the field a lot.
He has to see the field a lot. I think that, they probably need to, CJ Hicks, he needs to be kind of a a rushing linebacker. I think he's that type of guy. Try to bring him off the edge. Something. There's situations for CJ Hicks in this defense, but I think as your third linebacker, when Cody comes back, it's Arvell Reese, and I think that's the way they should roll right now. That he should be the first guy off the bench for the linebackers. Nothing to complain about with the defense, in my opinion. I mean, the defensive line, and we'll see as the competition gets better, but it kind of felt like in the old school Ohio State defense line. I mean, they were just teeing off on that quarterbacks, that Finley. I felt bad for him. I mean, that guy, talk about it's like just getting crushed and crushed and crushed and crushed. So like, I did feel bad for him, but it was nice to see. It felt like a while since like the defensive line really controlled, even last year when they play teams, in the last couple of years when they would play teams that, they overmatched, just, they never seemed like they were that team. Like you think of in like the mid, 2010s and stuff with some of those lines that, Urban had and LJ had then, I mean, those games when they overmatched a team, those lines controlled games, and like, they were in charge, and it's just like you just hasn't really seen it for a while. You kind of felt it in this game, and that was just, and that's just going to be very deadly coming down the stretch. I mean, they played 16 defensive linemen. I mean, I don't even know when the last time, you can say that. And I get it, as bigger games come on, those are going to shrink some, but to be able to get 16 guys out there, and they did not look different against Akron from start to finish. Like Akron in the fourth quarter wasn't moving against, guys that are farther down on the depth chart. So,
right.
It's like, it's just very, very impressive with that.
And Gabe Powers had a touchdown. Very nice. Who else had there? James Peoples had his first Buckeye touchdown, and Jeremiah Smith had his first Buckeye touchdown.
Yeah.
First and second.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, he was talking about just, and again, it's Akron. You can say that all you want, but I mean, talking about just the hype does not seem like it missed on that one. That and it's gonna, again, it's just like, where the receivers are always going to be every year and stuff like that, and it's just going to be very hard to play these receivers against any. I mean, it's going to be special defenses that are going to really have to go up against them. And, and you're going to have a couple of those defenses on the schedule, but it's just, they're just so loaded at the receiver right now. Definitely, coming this week against Western Michigan, I think we probably both agree that I would love to see them get the running backs much more involved and get a running game going, and, get Quinshawn going in the game. Peoples, I really loved what I saw from him when he was in there. I think he's going to be, a real difference maker as the third back. And, I love the plays that they called for Trey. It seemed like that they've really, and I kind of figured Chip was going to kind of figure some of that stuff out. It was just, we've always talked about this so much over the last couple of years, is that it was kind of like Trey. It's just like they're so mismatched in how they called plays for him. This is like, it was like either he did the stretch runs, or he did like try to do, something up the middle, and like the middle is like, they never seemed like they blocked perfectly for him, and the stretch runs, it's just like, why don't you try some quick hitters to him to the outside, like quick tosses and stuff like that. And they actually ran some of those in this game, and he's so fast when he gets off an edge, and it's like you don't have to overthink it with them. Like you're trying to fit him into places that I don't think he necessarily goes. Let him use his athleticism some.
Oh yeah, and I've always said with Trey, I think he's fine when you're doing the, the power or the gap scheme, excuse me, up the middle, like as long as his block's right. But Trey just needs like hit his foot in the ground and go, and that works on those outside tosses. Whereas the stretch runs don't always work for him, where he has to kind of, figure out which hole to go to. I think just Trey does a good job of being able to run to a spot, and I mean, he looked like a stronger running back, and I don't know, maybe that's premature to say, but it looked like he was just keeping his feet chopping and bouncing off tackles more so than he had ever done in his career. So, I think just a year older, year stronger, and Coach Locke, it definitely seems like things are clicking there and things are looking very good. So you hope he can stay healthy. You got those other two running backs that are going to take some of that wear and tear off of him throughout the year. But I'm expecting big things from him.
Yeah. And then I would say probably the next thing we would really, kind of, you're thinking forward about, Western Michigan and as we, start to look forward, there's not much more to talk about with the Akron game. It was just a good win. It was a good win, get the season started. So definitely get the running game moving quicker, and what goes with the running game is the offensive line. So, I definitely, would like to see them get a faster start offensively, on that offense line. Let's see if they can get a running game established early in this game and stuff like that. It seemed like, and it seemed like it just, they were running fine when they had Trey in there. It just seems like it just took some time with Junkins. And, and honestly, I just think that's just kind of the name of the game with that one. And I just think Ohio State as the team and Ohio State's fans is just fans. You just got to be patient with stuff like that because that guy, to me, he's one of those backs that's just going to wear you down and wear you down and wear you down. And, and I get in games like this, he'll be out probably earlier than, you would think, but that's going to be big coming down the stretch when you're against like Oregon and down the stretch with Penn State and Michigan is that you're going to need that back in the fourth quarter. So you need to feed him throughout the game. And I think that's the way you play him.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So I would definitely like to see, them get, kind of that going more. And honestly, I was very impressed with the blocking of the tight ends. I want to get them a little bit more involved in the passing game. I think they had I think I heard today that there was 90 something offensive plays and they got 3 targets or something like that for, which it is what it is. You got so many different things, but it's a mismatch and their tight ends are always going to be mismatches. And I would like to see them try to, get some of those guys the ball. But I was very happy that they got Jelani in there as much as he did. I thought he looked very, very good, again, blocking the ball. I thought G looked good blocking the ball. Kazmarek looked good blocking, so, and that's half the battle with the tight ends. Guys that can block downfield are just going to be, those are weapons in just their own right. When you think of just all the talent you have, around them and stuff like that. But, I would really like to see them able to, find those mismatches and get them the ball a couple times a game, just, as a change of pace type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I would definitely like to see, I want to see them more involved. Yeah, I want to see the receivers, maybe be more impactful outside of Smith. But man, I want to see the running game take off. So if that's a sacrifice, that's what you got to sacrifice for the running game to take off. I'm fine with that. I want to see the run game start humming and just be something that nobody can stop.
Yeah, definitely. These are the weeks to really start getting them going and stuff like that.
Defensively, I would like to see the linebackers play just cleaner as a unit. Just,
Yeah.
And I know Sonny was all over the field, Arvell was all over the field, but I want to see them diagnose short passes quicker, stop those, mitigate those first downs that come from short passes to the tight end. Reaction time's just a little bit quicker. Like you said, CJ Hicks, he's a hell of a pass rusher. Maybe we got to look there that he's just a pass rush specialist, but I felt hope for him. I think he's a really athletic dude.
I agree. I just
but Arvell's a freak, man. Arvell's a freak. Sonny's a freak. Simon might be back, so he's looking good. And Caleb Downs and Ransom were all over the field. You're not going to throw in those corners.
No, definitely. There's not much more to say about the defense. The defense just needs to keep doing what they're doing. You got to keep rotating those guys and on the defensive line. The secondary still got to do what they're doing. Just be all over the field, make plays. But I definitely want to see probably the weak point we've all said kind of going into the season was, the where the linebackers were. So just keep on keep on getting playing time, man. I think they're going to be fine. I liked what I saw from Sonny. I thought he was he did very well. You think about how he basically would just kind of the last couple of days before the game, before when they realized that Simon might not be playing, that he took over the Mike position, and so that was, it was impressive for what he did in my opinion. And so I definitely think Reese probably needs to be the guy behind him and Simon, and and then figure out where Hicks fits. And I think Hicks fits where on third and longs and stuff like that, to get a guy in there to rush the quarterback, and and that's going to throw offenses off when they see him in there. And people said, well, that's predictable and stuff like that. No,
but you gotta get out fast.
Yeah, you got, but there's different things you can do then with the defensive line. Like exactly. if you know Hicks is on the field, that's where somebody can drop into coverage and do different things because that he's coming. And so I think that's, and and every one of the good teams, they all have a guy like that. Alabama has a guy like that. Georgia has a guy like that. They have guys that are they're there just to disrupt the quarterback. And I just think that that's what would be a very good type of role for him.
Agreed. I agree with that.
All right. So like I said, we're going to try to, get this one to go pretty quick tonight. So let's just kind of go through we kind of went through just the stuff that, we definitely want to see with the improvements. Let's think about, any bold predictions. Let's go with bold predictions for anything you want to definitely throw out there that you think is kind of would be.
I hope I'm not stealing yours, but this definitely feels like the type of game you're getting a punt return. So I'm saying Ennis takes one to the house this week.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, I just think he's going to get there. I think this is going to be, they're going to really get the running game going. I heard a stat today on one of the podcasts I was listening to that, they only hit like 200 yards twice last year running the ball, so I don't know what kind of bold it is, but I think they're easily going to eclipse that tomorrow. With the running backs, because I just think it's going to be one of those weird games. It's a night game, it's against Western Michigan. I just think they're going to want to get in there, get their fireworks early, and then they're just going to run and just grind that game out. And just I think they're going to win big, but I don't think they're going to really try to do anything overly crazy. And they got big games coming up, and I just think, especially with the bye coming in, you might, they might let Donovan sit another game. Who knows? That that might not be smart, but hey, that just helps with the depth. So I would like to see that. Defensively, I think that I don't know what kind of if it's bold or not bold, but I think they're going to have another combination of several interceptions or turnovers and several sacks in this game. And I know I said 10 sacks maybe. They were going to get in one game this year, but I got 5 last game. I think between turnovers and sacks, they're going to hit 10 total between the two stat lines. I think that they're just I think they're going to be hunting for this quarterback tomorrow. So that's what
I'm going to say. Caleb Downs gets his first Buckeye interception.
I could see it. I could definitely see it. I could see him possibly taking one to the house. Who knows? I like the 2 touchdowns last week. I like seeing defensive scores. That's just feels good.
You got to be disruptive like that, and you got to do it against the good teams too. So hopefully it continues to build.
Yeah. All right. So and then we'll just our who we think our players of the game on both sides of the ball is going to be. You can go your offensive player of the game for tomorrow.
I'm going to say, let's say Jeremiah Smith, man. I think he's young. They're going to keep him in, and I think he's going to score early and often.
Yeah, that's a good one. I do think, like I said, I think they're going to really try to establish the running game tomorrow. I'm going to go with Junkins. I think he's going to be the man tomorrow. He's going to be they're going to definitely kind of be the the bellwether back, and I could see, James Peoples getting a lot. I think that they're going to let him really loose tomorrow too. Just to keep all the carries really spread out amongst the three of them to try to just keep everybody's legs fresh throughout the season. All right, defensively, what do you think?
Defensively, let's say Tyreek Williams. I see him having a big game.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Jack Solera. That guy, he
is so disruptive.
He was such a freak last week, and it's just like I don't want to say it yet because who knows how the season's gonna go out. But it's like if this guy ends up having the season, I think he's gonna have. It's like they've kind of really mismanaged him over the first couple of years he was there.
Yeah.
And I just think they tried to do a little too much with them, with some of those jack positions. It's just like, man, the guy he's just a freak. Just let him go. And, I really like what I saw with them. All right. You want to hit score predictions and then call it a night?
Yeah. Texas a lot, Michigan a little.
I do think Texas is going to beat Michigan.
I do think it's going to be really close, though. I just think Texas has a better offense, and that ends up pulling them through. But I think Michigan's defense is good enough to keep that close. I think, I'm looking at like a 21-17 type game, something like that.
Like the thing where I think could really bite Michigan in the butt, and it's nothing against. I mean, he's such a great cornerback, but Will Johnson, he has just a tendency that he likes to try to. He got the touchdown last week, but he also gave up a big reception. Like, he jumps those routes, and sometimes he guesses wrong, and sometimes he guesses right. And I just think against a team like Texas that are going to really try to challenge them down the field, that I think it could really. A bad mistake in that game could cost them, just because I really do think they're going to have a hard time scoring against Texas. Because last week I just
their offense isn't that good, man. They don't.
I'm just not impressed.
Yeah, I mean I know I said 21-17. It's also one of those games where like kind of reminds me of like Ohio State against Clemson in 2016. It's like. Or there's the possibility they just can't score because they're not that good of a team. So, if Michigan scored less than 10 points in this game, I wouldn't be too shocked.
Yeah. All right.
Ohio State, I think Ohio State's going to win. Let's say 42-3.
I'm a little higher. I think it's going to be. I think 52 again. That's what I'm thinking of. But I'm going with 52. I'm going to go 52 to. I'm going to say the shutout. 52-0. Screw it.
I can see a shutout in this game, and their defense is that good that you could get some shutouts this year.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to hit on?
No, sorry about the audio on this, everybody. It's just I ordered the part I needed while we were on here, so hopefully the next one's a little bit better. But thank you, everyone, for stopping out tonight to the Buckeye Bar. I'm John.
And I'm Mike.
OH.
IO. Go Bucks.
Go Buckeyes.